What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to make another tier list and we're going to talk about cardio modalities. So basically I took all the ways I can think of you could do cardio and we're going to compare them according to a couple of different criteria. So the first criteria is going to be effectiveness. So how good is this actually at building your endurance? So roughly we're going to look at how good is that at improving your VO2 max? And there are central and peripheral adaptations. So we want the exercise to be cyclical. Well, first off, it has to get your heart rate up, right? It has to get your heart rate into an effective training zone. And secondly, it also has to be cyclical, because if there are no phases of relaxation in the movement, if the working muscles are under tension continuously, the heart rate may go up, but because the circulation is inhibited, we may not actually get the stretching of the heart we're looking for. And that's going to be effectiveness. And obviously there are different things we can look at here, like how much musculature is actually involved, because we also get peripheral adaptations. So the heart would be central adaptations, and peripheral adaptations would be, for example, the formation of new mitochondria or the respiration of the mitochondria that are already there, and we only get that specifically to the working muscles. So for example, some modes of cardio may involve only the lower body, some may also involve the upper body, and those are all things we can look at. So that's the first criteria, effectiveness. The second criteria is going to be accessibility. So some modes of cardio may have a high barrier of entry, because either you need some equipment that's not common, or you need a decent amount of skill to get started in the first place, or whatever. So accessibility. And the third criteria is going to be scalability. So basically, to be really effective, you need to work at both low and high intensities. So if a mode of cardio is only good for really high intensity and you can't really go long because maybe the tissues won't tolerate it, it just doesn't lend itself well to, for example, a 1 or 2 hour effort, then it's not going to be ideal, because long term you need both low intensity and high intensity efforts to improve your endurance and also your VO2 max. So those are the three things we're going to look at. And yeah, before we get started, please, if you like the videos, if you find them informative or even mildly entertaining, please like the video and subscribe, because the more you like and subscribe, the more it helps the channel grow, and the more the channel grows, the more videos I can make, and the more videos I can make, the more the channel grows, and we are going to keep perpetuating that until world domination, and everybody's going to be checked and have a VO2 max of 55 and long cycle 32s for 10 minutes, and everything is going to be great. So let's go. Okay, first one, let's do right away running. And running, I have to say, running is S tier, because running obviously is great for improving the VO2 max. It is scalable because you can do really fast intervals and really do that high intensity VO2 max work, and you can also jog really slowly for a long period of time. And it is pretty tolerable for most people if you build your tolerance. Okay, if you build your tolerance, yes, it can be hard on the joints, but most people can get to the point where they can run safely. And I'd say the only downside is maybe that it doesn't include the upper body as much, but it's such a fundamental human movement pattern, so it's really awesome. Running, S tier, great for building endurance. Next, let's look at walking. And walking, I'm using in the sense like I use it as power walking. So I walk at a brisk pace. And it's closely related to running, obviously. It's like basically on the same spectrum. But some people say you can really get really fit by only walking, and like that's not really true, because it doesn't, if you're fit, it doesn't get your heart rate up that much. It has some really cool benefits in terms of fat oxidation, so you're really going to improve your ability to burn fat, and you're also going to develop mitochondria. It's also very good for mental health, and that's why I use it in my training. I use training walks, like I will maybe set the timer and walk for 2 or 3 hours at a brisk pace when I have the time. And it's obviously accessible to everyone, but for really building great cardio, it's not enough, and that's why I'm going to put it in B tier. Okay, then let's do kettlebell sport, my sport, kettlebell sport. And kettlebell sport is, it definitely builds your endurance, but there are some downsides. Number one is there is a high barrier to entry, because you need the technical proficiency. And that's not that easy to do. You'd like to learn to really be efficient and relaxed with the kettlebells to actually get the desired training effect. And number two, there is a pretty high impact on the joints. So yes, you can lift the kettlebell for 30 minutes for 1 hour, but I'm not sure it's actually going to be worth it in terms of cardiovascular adaptations if you put it in relation to the joint stress and muscular stress you're experiencing. Because to maybe get the effect of a 1 hour jog, I would maybe need to do long cycle with a 16 kilo bell for 1 hour. And I mean, I guess it's going to make my triceps a bit sore, you know. I mean, I don't know, but like overall, it's just easier to do traditional monostructural cardio, and that's why I'm going to put it in C tier. All right. As you see, I'm being perfectly objective here. So if I say something is C tier or D tier, it doesn't mean that it's not worth doing. It just means if our only goal is a cardiovascular adaptation and we don't care about anything else, it's not ideal for that. All right. Next, let's look at, what's that? Shadow boxing. And I have to say, this is like an underrated form of cardio. I'm using that because it's pretty cyclical. You're moving and you can get your heart rate up, and you're also involving different tissues, upper body rotational tissues. So you're going to build some mitochondria and capillaries in muscles you wouldn't easily get to otherwise. It's also going to build some coordination, like as an added benefit. It's probably not so ideal for really working in high heart rate zones for extended periods of time. I'm going to put it in B tier. It's definitely good as a form of cardio. So what I like to do is I do 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, and repeat that like 10 times, and I keep the rest active, and it's going to be 40 minutes in zone 1, 2. So it's good. Okay, let's do the Airbike. Airbike is, I have to say, the Airbike is, obviously it involves the upper body. It can get the heart rate up easily, but I'm going to put it probably in C tier. I mean, it's low skill also, it's easy to do, but the thing I don't like is it's really uncomfortable to do for long periods of time, because you're just sitting there like at that weird angle. I don't know, maybe I just suck at it too much. It's great for high intensity work. Like if you just want to destroy yourself and do high intensity intervals, it's great for that. But for base work, it's just not really comfortable. So it does lack in that department. All right, let's do, guys doing wall balls here. It's meant to be CrossFit, and CrossFit I have to put, for pure VO2 max work, I have to put it in D tier, because it's much more on the strength and power endurance side, even more so than kettlebell sport, because it's like sprint a bit, like do your 10 reps or whatever, then catch your breath, move to the next exercise. It's not, the exercise itself is not cyclical, so you're tensing up really you're tensing up a lot. So it's more anaerobic training, it's more muscular endurance training, and we see that elite crossfitters usually don't have elite VO2 maxes, right? And we see that, for example, there is like the populations really overlap, CrossFit and the Hyrox, and the top CrossFit guys aren't the top Hyrox guys, and vice versa. And I'm using Hyrox as an example because Hyrox is like a pure endurance. It's basically just a combination of a bunch of different endurance modalities. All right, then next, let's do rowing. I think rowing is good. It's not S tier because I think, again, it's the tolerability. It's like, I personally, like 30 minutes is okay. I mean, I can do 1 hour, but like doing a lot of volume on the rower is because of the spinal flexion and the sitting. I think it can get really uncomfortable. It's great for high intensity work. It's also great because it involves the upper body. It's good, but I'm going to put it in A tier. It's not S tier because, like, I mean, you can, but you can't really do just a 2 or 3 hour row. Like if you're not a rower, like it's much easier to do other stuff and get basically the same effect in terms of like stretching of the heart for an extended period of time. Next, let's do rucking. And rucking basically just means walking with a weighted pack. And I think rucking is actually fantastic. Like there is some criticism of it. Some people claim, or there are like studies that show that the chance of injury is higher or whatever. But I think that's not a fair assessment because those studies usually come from the military. And what do we do in the military? Either we get guys off the street, like who may have horrible gait mechanics and are massively overweight, and we want to get them combat ready really quickly, and then after 1 month of basic training we throw 60 pounds of gear onto their backs and have them like ruck for 20k at a quick pace. And yes, like some people are going to get injured. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have like elite soldiers who are going to like super strenuous training, like, I don't know, special forces selection, where they just are basically human pack mules and are not sleeping, not eating. And of course you get injuries there. But if as a civilian, you use it as a training modality and use it sensibly and just get like, start maybe with a 10 kg weighted vest and work your way up, and don't go to extreme fatigue, and make sure your mechanics are solid. It's good, man. You build some strength and you also build the cardiovascular system effectively. So it's definitely A tier, maybe S tier. Like it's on the brink. Okay, classic gym machines. We have the elliptical. Yeah, the elliptical is good, but I don't know, man. It has such a cheap feel. I don't like it, but it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Okay, it's cyclical. You can get your heart rate up. You can do it for high volume. Yeah, it's okay. The Stairmaster, I think I would put it a little bit higher than the elliptical. I don't know, Stairmaster. It's probably not so easy to really do high intensity. I mean, you probably could do high intensity intervals. Like, maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna put it in B tier too. And like I said, they are like all good. The point is you can combine them. If you just want central adaptations, if you just want to stretch your heart, you can use all of them, and all of them are going to contribute. Jump rope. I'm going to put in C tier because there is a high skill element. Like, it's not so easy to jump rope proficiently to the point where you can actually get the training adaptations and are good enough to jump at both low intensity and high intensity. And also, like, it's not so easy to do super high volume because it's also high stress on the joint. Next, let's do like barbell squats. I talked about this when I made the video about Chad Lienhardt's horrible cardio protocols the other day. Barbell squats, and I love barbell squats for strength endurance, and they're great for muscular endurance. And this applies to basically all like lifting weights faster type training. The problem is, like I touched on this in the other video, like I alluded to in the beginning of this video as well, if you if you have too much tension in the working muscles, the problem is that the blood kind of gets clogged up in the muscles and doesn't get pumped back to the heart. That's why the exercise has to be cyclical to be effective. Because when the blood gets clogged up, you get basically, I'm explaining very simplified terms, you have too little blood in the heart, okay, to really get the stretching of the left ventricle, and you end up with a high heart rate, but not enough stroke volume, okay? Okay, and that's basically the problem of the I just lift weights faster for cardio philosophy, because people think just because the heart rate is up, it means they're also effectively training the heart. No, unfortunately not. Okay, next let's do the ski erg, and the ski erg is S tier. The ski erg is really good, and it's low impact. You can do it high intensity, low intensity, long duration. The posture is comfortable, and it involves a lot of musculature. We see this also by cross-country skiers who have absurdly high VO2 maxes. Obviously the ski erg as a machine is a little bit more limited than what those guys are doing in terms of movement patterns. So I'm not saying it's the same as cross-country skiing, but it's evidence that it works. And yeah, I really like the ski erg. I think it's as a cardio machine, it may be one of the best there is. And all right, did I throw one out here? I may have thrown one out accidentally. I think the bike should be in there. I'm not sure where the bike is. Okay, we're going to get to the bike later. Next we have swimming, and swimming I'm gonna put it with, it's C tier in my opinion, because high skill element, it's really hard to swing, low accessibility, you need to get to a pool, and if you're actually good at it, yes, it can be worth it, it can be good, but even so, I'm not sure it's actually the best way to improve the pure VO2 max, because even elite swimmers, as far as I know, have lower VO2 maxes than, for example, cyclists or runners. So swimming, it's good if you're skilled at it, but not as a primary cardio builder. Yeah, last one. It's not the last one, because we also have to get to the bike, which I think I threw out accidentally. This is basically going to be all kinds of, I think this is a Zumba class, and as much as it's maybe it looks funny or whatever, all those group cardio classes, I think they are way better than people think. It's at least B tier. It's at least B tier, because you can get your heart rate up, you can get a good workout. It's going to be cyclical. It's going to be jumping patterns, stepping patterns. You usually if you do those aerobic stuff where you have the hand weights or whatever, I think you're going to get a decent VO2 max workout. And I probably wouldn't do it because my masculinity is too fragile, but I say it's B tier, for sure, B tier. And now the last one is the bike, which I threw out. I threw out the bike, and the bike has to go in S tier. The bike, and I don't have a bike, I don't use a bike, but I should, because the bike is fucking awesome. Cyclists have super high VO2 maxes, because it just allows you to do so much training volume. And yes, okay, you don't involve the upper body, and the posture is a little bit weird, uncomfortable, but you still can do more training volume than on almost anything else. So much so that a lot of elite runners nowadays use the bike for cross training. And it's just that the amount of heart stretching and central adaptations you get for the cost of it, the biological cost of stress and adaptation, joint stress, etc. It's really just a a great return on investment. So bike has to go in S tier. So we have S tier, the bike, all types of cycling, indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter. We have running, and we have the ski erg. A tier, I'm gonna put rowing and rucking. B tier is walking, shadow boxing, elliptical, stairmaster, and also like cardio, kickboxing, dance classes, etc. C tier, we have kettlebell sport, the airbike, jump rope, swimming. And D tier, unfortunately, like not good for building actual endurance. We have CrossFit, and we have basically high rep barbell squats. And there's another one I forgot. Jesus Christ, what horrible preparation. Bodyweight exercises. So basically think of the burpee bros. And I think like burpees and also like bodyweight circuits, like if you do maybe air squats, like Hindu squats, stuff like that, it's going to go also in B tier. So I think there is a little bit too much of a muscular component to really make it cyclical enough. I mean, you can't really do high volume. Like you can do burpees for 1 hour, but that's going to be a super high level already. Like most people are going to be done after 10 minutes, so it's not scalable in that way. And also I mean, the plus is it's accessible. Literally, you could do it in a jail cell. So that's what I would do if I got locked up. I would do burpees all day. So it's great for that. So like, please, calisthenics pros, I know you're sensitive. Burpees are great. Like if you like them, include them in your training. But just only doing that, I think, is not enough to really build the heart to the max. All right, guys. I hope you found it informative, and see you guys next time.